Welcome to LSB Feaster's Radio Air Check and Classic TV channel.
Improving your Florida home.
WRMF HD2.
I wish these bags under my eyes would just go away. 100-525-4980.
Your home for the South Florida Morning Show. News Talk 850 WFTL. West Palm Beach, Sunrise, Lake Worth.
News Talk 850 WFTL, West Palm Beach, with your 3 o'clock update. I'm Ron Hersey. It's 88 degrees in Loxahatchee. It's 89 degrees in Margate. The state of Florida has shut down a Hollywood nursing home while a criminal investigation proceeds after 8 people died from sweltering heat post-Irma.
A criminal investigation is underway into the death of 8 residents of a Hollywood nursing home after Hurricane Irma knocked out a transformer that powered the air conditioning. Hollywood Mayor Josh Levy says this did not have to happen.
I understand there was human failure on the part of the medical staff supervising these folks to not sound the alarm much more broadly, much more loudly, way earlier.
Last night, 2 other nursing homes with no power evacuated their residents to other facilities. Karen Curtis, News Talk 850 WFTL.
The number of Floridians without power continues to drop. The latest update from the State Emergency Management Division shows 2.7 million homes and businesses. About 26% of the state don't have electricity. The most outages are in the South Florida counties of Miami-Dade, 320,000 customers powerless, and Broward, 217,000. Florida Power and Light says it hopes to have power fully restored on the East Coast by Sunday night. On the West, by Friday. There's good news for Floridians trying to get home after Irma. Interstate 75 will remain open. The State Department of Transportation had said that flooding of the Santa Fe River in Alachua County could force them to close the highway between I-10 and State Road 441. But as of this morning, FDOT says its engineers and state meteorologists don't believe the river will reach a level to make I-75 unsafe. Hurricane Jose is moving at a snail's pace midway between the Bahamas and Bermuda. The morning update from the National Hurricane Center has Jose moving west at 3 miles per hour. Forecasters say it continues to barely maintain hurricane strength at 75 miles per hour and could weaken to a tropical storm by tomorrow. Swells from Jose are forecast to produce a high risk of rip currents along Florida's coast, Atlantic coast, this weekend. The Federal Trade Commission is investigating the Equifax data breach that compromised the personal information of more than 143 million Americans.
The FTC's acting director of public affairs, Peter Kaplan, confirmed the investigation to CNBC. The FTC does not typically comment on ongoing investigations, but in light of intense public interest and the potential impact of this matter, the agency made the probe public. The breach of the credit reporting company compromised many Americans' Social Security numbers and driver's license numbers. Joe Gomez, NBC News Radio, Washington.
President Trump says a border wall is necessary to provide extreme border security.
We have to have a wall. If the wall is going to be obstructed, when we need the funds at a little bit later date, we'll be determining how much we need. Then we're not doing anything. Right?
In Florida today, Trump was pressed about his meeting with Democratic leaders last night. Senator Chuck Schumer and House Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi say they agreed to preserve DACA without providing funding for a border wall. But Trump has disputed the claim.
We'll only do it if we get extreme security, if we get not only surveillance, but everything that goes along with surveillance. And ultimately, we have to have the wall. If we don't have the wall, we're doing nothing.
An Army spokesman says multiple soldiers are injured after an explosion during a training exercise at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. The soldiers are part of the U.S. Army's Special Operations Command and were training on a range at the Army base. Lieutenant Colonel Rob Bockholt says the soldiers were taken to the Womack Army Medical Center for treatment, their conditions not released at this time. Several Marines were critically injured after a training exercise in San Diego. More than a dozen Marines on an amphibious assault vehicle when it crashed and went up in flames Wednesday at Camp Pendleton. Officials say the crash left 6 Marines in critical condition, 9 others badly hurt. Most of the Marines had to be rushed to the UC San Diego Burn Center. Martin Skrell is behind bars after offering a $5,000 bounty for a lock of Hillary Clinton's hair. A federal judge in Manhattan revoked the so-called Pharma Bros $5 million bail yesterday. He agreed with prosecutors that Skrelly's Facebook post solicited assault, proving that the convicted fraudster is a danger to society. I'm Ron Hersey, News Talk 850 WFTL.
Time for a check on traffic in our traffic studio. Proudly sponsored by Mercedes-Benz of Palm Beach, Okeechobee Boulevard, West Palm Beach.
Good afternoon, Palm Beach. Nothing major to report. Something going on Melaleuca Lane east of Jog Road. That's Melaleuca Lane at Sherwood Forest Boulevard. We have an accident blocking one right lane, and we have plenty of traffic lights still not working starting on Atlantic Avenue, both east and westbound at Florida's Turnpike. Caution, please, it's at the northbound Turnpike entrance. Also in Delray Beach, fallen power cables Federal Highway south of Linton Boulevard, and in North Palm Beach, fallen power cables US 1 at PGA Boulevard. For all traffic lights that are not working, please, folks, come to a complete stop and treat as a four-way stop sign. This report is brought to you by LifeLock. Equifax recently announced a breach of 143 million identities, and you need to take steps to get protection. Be among the millions who trust their identity theft protection to LifeLock. Go to lifelock.com, use promo code RISK for 10% off. I'm Chris Barr, and that's your 850 WFTL traffic report.
And your forecast from CBS 12. Scattered showers and thunderstorms possible this afternoon, and continued hot with a high of 89 for tonight. Partly cloudy skies and cooler, an overnight low of 77. Right now, it's 89 degrees.
Live from the Crash Proof Retirement Show studios. Get educated by Phil Cannella and Joanne Small. Saturdays at 10 a.m. on News Talk 850 WFTL. Live from the heart of paradise. All right, it's South Florida, but it's close. It's the most unique talk radio in America. Barsky Radio. Now, here's Barsky on South Florida's News Talk 850 WFTL.
Well, welcome to the show, Barsky, Ron Hersey, award-winning newscaster, and award-winning producer Garrett. I have yet to win an award.
Two-time winner of the Ohio State News Buckeye Award. Les Nessman.
By the way, the awards that have been given just within this room. It's not any sort of national award. It's just an award that I've given them personally.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So, welcome to the show. A couple updates here first. Not everybody has power. We know that already. That there are still a number of people who are out of power. One being Ron Hersey. Still no power there.
How did you know?
The beard's still there. The Billy Bob Thornton beard is still there, which I believe you should keep. It is still Billy Bob Thornton. I'm thinking 2 more days, you're going to be in the Wolf Blitzer category.
Well, that's when it has to go.
No. Listen, the Wolf Blitzer's a pretty successful guy. You may want to emulate the look. Right. I'm just saying, something to think about. You know, he's a newsman. I don't know if he's an award-winning newsman, but he's a newsman. He's got that pretty good look, and you just got to keep it close cropped. You're going to let go any further, then you're going to go into that territory you don't want to get into.
You get into like David Letterman.
Well, that's way. You have to let that go for at least 6 months to get there. No, you'll be in the Jon Stewart arena. So keep it what you got. Garrett, power yet or no?
So whenever I woke up this morning and came to work, it was a no, but I did get an email from my apartment association saying that we have power. So
good.
I'm hoping that I'm going to go home and find that is true.
Good. All right, good. Well, then the only one left is Ron, which makes no sense. Well, I guess it does make a little sense. It is par for the course. Well, no, the truth is you're further south than we are.
We are, and we're like kind of in a remote section of Southwest Broward, and we're in a grid with just a small number of houses.
Yeah.
I mean, when we went through in Wilma, we waited 3 weeks.
I can't
and the guy across the street had power. So,
that is the worst. I would much rather everybody in the neighborhood be without power than knowing that the guy across the street's got power. Right. He's waving to you as he's taking the garbage out after he just finished a nice meal in an air-conditioned house.
Right, he's going to go have a little hot shower and a hot cup of coffee.
And you're there schwitzing for like 3 weeks.
Right.
That totally sucks.
You guys are really nice neighbors, I can tell.
Howdy, neighbor. So that's the latest as far as the story with the power. There are a lot of still outages elsewhere. Most of it south, and I've been hearing the same thing you've been hearing, Ron, as far as the power going back on in the Broward County area or even further down Miami-Dade. We're possibly into next week. The West Coast, my cousin lives on the West Coast of the state, and we're hearing for at least another week for them. So things could be worse. But the majority of people in Palm Beach County, from my understanding, are pretty close to having it all on. So a little more aftermath. There's, when you get hit with a hurricane like this, there's the aftermath kind of lingers for until everybody else gets their power. I mean, there's still gas outages. There's still places where you can't get ice. But most places now I passed the racetrack. Speedway, rather. Is that what it's called? What is it called? Racetrack?
There's one of each. So
yeah, I don't know. Who the hell knows? All I know, if I see like 20 pumps, it's either a racetrack or a speedway. It's whatever it is.
Pit stop, whatever.
Whatever you want to call it. But they were pumping gas right around the corner, so that's a good sign. There are 3 cops in Gainesville, Florida, who took a selfie on Sunday before they started their shift. And went out to help people who were affected by the hurricane, and now they have gone viral because there's some really good-looking dudes. I'll just say that.
They're studs.
Ronnie, I'll just say this. The facial hair is fantastic on these guys. They've gone viral, and they've racked up more than 475,000 likes. So now they're going to do a calendar. Okay. Do a calendar. And,
like the firefighter calendars that you see?
Yeah. But, I don't know who's going to, buy. I mean, obviously the money's going to go to some sort of a hurricane charity.
I know who's going to buy them.
That's right, mister. You got that right.
A man in uniform.
Yes, absolutely. With facial hair, you can't beat it. Don't knock it. No, it'll be a very large gay contingent as well as middle-aged women who still think that they can cruise bars for young guys, cougars. There's a contingent now. I believe now the cougar thing is out. I think there's a new name. I should have written it down because I read about it a few weeks ago. There's a new name out there for women who are available, but I don't know if they're older than cougars or I don't know what it is, but I have to find it. But there's like a new name,
a new subcategory.
Yeah, of women who are on the prowl
for younger men.
Either younger men or for men who either are older men. I think that's what it is. I think it's older men for women who just want to be taken care of. And not sugar daddies, nothing like that, but it's a different name, and it's kind of like cougar. I wish I wrote it down. I'll find it. It was enough for me to go, wow, it's pretty funny. I think it's older men for like women that are looking for older men, but not so much sugar daddy situation. I don't know. I'll find it. This is a pretty good story, and we did some story. What do you got?
I think so. This is the male version of a cougar, is what we're talking about, basically.
Maybe.
I think that's what it is. The male version. So, maybe that's what it is.
From what I can see here, it says that it's called a manther, like a panther.
I think that's. I know it. No, there were 2 of them. There was one for another contingent of women, but I did see the manther. That is actually very funny. That's what made me laugh.
I could just see a classified ad now. Manther with moves.
There's an M over everything. Yeah. Manther with moobs, looking for a momance.
Oh, man.
Looking for a mama.
A mama. So the manther is what?
Manther is essentially the male version of a cougar. It is an older a man who, quote unquote, they say it preys, but it kind of seems weird, but preys on younger women.
That's all men. What do you mean that's a manther? It's just men. You don't have to put a name on it. That's just guys in general.
I think that
manther.
I think that the difference is they are attractive men.
Oh, is that what?
Yeah, because like a cougar, when you think of a cougar, you're thinking of an attractive older woman,
right?
Who goes after younger men.
So this is an attractive older guy with money, probably something like that goes after.
Where the girls don't mind. That's the difference. If the girls care about it,
right,
that's when it gets into trouble.
Right.
So the opposite of Barsky.
Right. The complete opposite of me. Good looking with money. Forget about it. I don't even know what category I would be in. What rhymes with loser? Mooser. I'm a mooser.
Barsky Radio on News Talk 850 WFTL. Still can't figure out what's fake news? Are you confused if it really is breaking news? That's why you need the Joyce Kaufman Show tomorrow afternoon at 12:06 on News Talk 850 WFTL.
Brought to you by Edmore's Honda, located on the corner of Blue Heron Boulevard and I-95 in North Palm Beach. Go to edmoreshonda.com to drive the best. Karen Curtis drives the North American Car of the Year, the 2016 Honda Civic.
Joyce Kaufman here, and I have an opportunity to talk with my prosthodontist, Dr. Ellie Friedman. Now, some people may be thinking, well, I don't really need implants, but, I've got teeth that don't look good anymore. They're either dull or they're broken or they're chipped, and there's a lot of other procedures that you specialize in.
We can offer patients solutions to change their smile in just a day, whether it has to do with dental implants or having crowns on their teeth. We have 3D imaging, digital impressioning, things that we can make instant changes very quickly for patients. And the nice part about having an in-house dental lab is the lead time to get things done is fairly quickly as well, meaning you come to our office, we can sit down with you, do a consultation, literally have you back the following week and transform your smile that quickly.
954-752-5560. That's 954-752-5560. And on the web, it's FriedmanDentalGroup.com, 954-752-5560. Dr. Ellie Friedman, thank you.
Most people are unaware that when involved in a motor vehicle accident, their own insurance pays their medical bills. Florida is a no-fault state, which means that regardless of fault, your own insurance pays your medical expenses. If you have any questions as to how your medical bills get paid after an accident, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine for one of our experienced attorneys to explain to you how those benefits work. Our team is available 24/7 to provide you responsive legal help. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
Main office, Fort Lauderdale. Right now on 850WFTL.com.
The state of Florida has shut down a Hollywood nursing home while a criminal investigation proceeds after 8 people died from sweltering heat post-Irma.
News on demand. 850WFTL.com.
Are you paying too much for your homeowner's insurance? Maybe you've been dropped by your carrier. Apex Insurance Agency can help you, just like they helped me. It's a full-service insurance agency that specializes in writing home insurance. Call them today for a quote, 561-272-9683. That's 561-272-9683. Paul and his team at Apex will shop the market for you and get you the best policy at the best rate. 561-272-9683. Or visit them online at fortheinsured.com.
Now that the storm has passed, help Palm Beach County recover. Make 3 piles with your debris. 1 for garbage, 1 for vegetation, and 1 for storm debris. Keep the piles separated and away from mailboxes and power lines. Learn more at swa.org/hurricane.
So I think we figured this whole thing out. The Manther is the older, good-looking guy who can score with the younger women. And then the Panther, not the Cougar, but the Panther is the younger woman
that gets with the older
guy. So the Panther looking for the Manther. Okay. I think that's what it was. Panther.
It seems weird because it's almost like a Papa Bear type of thing.
Yeah, I know, but it's just men and women. You got to put a label on everything. It's just young chicks trying to score with older guys who'll take care of them. Sugar baby, sugar daddy, but you got to go with an animal. I guess the animal is the new thing to do when you label somebody.
He is the mongoose to my snake.
Right.
I don't know animals.
Right, kind of like that, like Dr. Evil would say. Well, you got Manther, you got Panther, you got Cougar, you got some guys go Hagen. You've heard of that.
I don't know what that means, and I don't think I want to know what that means.
Well, I've heard about that. So and there's always some sort of an animal connected with some sort of it's almost like hunting. You're hunting for prey. All right. So here's the story that I actually like this one, and I will call him the hero of the day, Barsky Radio hero of the day. The first one. A former millionaire Penthouse magazine owner here in Boca Raton, south of us, with a huge, monstrous mansion that he, obviously made from the sale of the magazine. I think he bought it from the Guccione family and then sold it. His name is Mark Bell. You want to hear what this guy did? He opened up his mansion, his beautiful mansion, to 70 foster children who were left homeless by the hurricane. Okay, these are kids who were living in foster homes with no parents, but they had foster parents. Now, those homes, obviously, they couldn't live in. They had nowhere to go. I mean, it's not like they were in shelters with their parents. They're no parents. They're orphans. So he opened the doors to his home and brought 70 of them in and took care of them. Fed them, put out a big spread. It's really, really kind of amazing.
That's good people.
Really good people. The children were allowed to help themselves. He has like an arcade room in his house. Of course, who doesn't? And they all sat down for dinner to the sound of a live guitarist. And the girls who were there were given manicures. Mr. and Mrs. Bell, their married couple, stepped in and emerged when what?
No, I think it's cute.
It's cute. Okay,
girls getting
right. I mean, they're being pampered. These
cute.
These kids. Mr. and Mrs. Bell stepped in when it emerged that the youngsters were being forced out of their sheltered accommodation after the hurricane ripped through the state here. The SOS Children's Village, Florida, the foster care community, called the successful entrepreneur begging for help. So they didn't know what to do because they didn't have any power or whatever. And obviously, they called this guy and saying, we've been evicted from our shelters. We don't know where to bring the kids. We're not getting any help from the county. What do we do? And the response was, Mr. Bell said, bring them here. They were hungry. They were tired. They lived in a gymnasium for a week. They hadn't showered for a week. And you saw how excited they were. The couple said they never thought twice about taking the children in and pulled out all the stops to make sure the sleepover was a memorable one. Mrs. Bell told CBS they don't have a mom or dad, so they're scared. And then their house parents, they don't even know what's in it for them. I mean, they're scared too. So to have these kids feel welcomed and just feel comfortable, as a mom, it makes you feel like you're doing something good. It's knowing that later on these kids are going to look back and they're going to want to help somebody else to pay it forward. A great life lesson that they taught these kids. How apropos, how wonderful a story this is that the former owner of Penthouse magazine opened up his home to 70 foster kids, and that fraud pastor Joel Osteen in Houston wouldn't open up his doors to his Lakewood church that could bring in 16,000 people. Think about that. So next time you want to judge people for what they do for a living, or the kind of people you think they are, think again, think twice, take a closer look. You'll see who the real Christians are, or the real good people are. Sometimes it's not exactly who you think they're going to be. They're going to be people who come out of the blue like this guy. So good for you, Mark Bell. If anybody listening knows Mark Bell, tell him that a big congratulations from this show and this radio station for doing something very, very cool. Very good. Okay, so the latest now with the Trumpster is, I can't get a straight answer. When I can't get a straight answer, I get a little frustrated. Some are saying that they're close to a deal, that Trump was close to a deal with the Democrats on DACA, since we're talking about kids. And so then I see another headline, like an hour later, Trump says, no deal yet. So it's like deal or no deal. It's like, where's Howie Mandel with the suitcases? So, the Democrats are saying, yes, we pretty much have a deal. But here's what's going down. That there's supposedly, the sticking point is that the Democrats don't want the wall, but they want, obviously, DACA to be, to stay exactly where it is, not to be altered in any way whatsoever. Trump is leaning toward keeping the kids here, and said that, the wall will be built sometime later on. So this is pissing off a lot of hardcore Trump supporters, a lot of Republicans. And here's what Iowa Republican Congressman Steve King said to CNN. I don't think it's unclear to anybody what those campaign promises were, but it looks to me like he's preparing to keep Hillary Clinton's campaign promise rather than his own. So that's kind of what's kind of going on with, at least on the inside, from his own party. So I don't know where Joyce falls in, because I heard yesterday Joyce was going to, take the gloves off and smack some people around if this thing went the other direction. What's the latest with her?
Today she was she's very heated. She's not very happy with President Trump. She had Ann Coulter on actually, and they both said the same thing, that they're still on the Trump train, quote unquote.
They got one foot,
but that Trump has gotten off of the train. He is no longer.
So the train's just basically running itself.
Yeah, there's
no conductor
is going now without Trump, and that all of his promises are the train, but Trump has now abandoned all of them.
All right, listen. When the guy who makes the promises jumps off the train, you jump off too. That's all I'm saying. I mean, God bless you. The fact that you're that loyal, you're sticking with that, you're still hanging on the train, but there's nobody driving the train now. So you may want to think. You might want to think about another mode of transportation when you don't have a train with a conductor. Interesting. Now, he's saying, as far as the wall goes, he's saying, the wall will come later. The wall's going to be built. It's going to be funded a little bit later. So I'm not hearing any, who's going to pay for it. Because, quite honestly, we don't know who's going to pay for it.
I think I have a good idea.
Yeah. Let's see. You want to see who's going to pay for it? Go take a look in the mirror. If you got a mirror in front of you, take a look. I think that's who's going to pay for it. And believe me, I'm not talking to you who may be Mexican in this country. No, I'm not talking to people listening over in Mexico. I'm talking to people living here in the United States. I think that's where the money's going to come from, if there is, in fact, a wall. But that's one of those campaign promises that was supposed to happen. And
that's probably the biggest one she's upset about.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can understand it, because clearly that's something that she has been fighting for a long time, and a lot of people have been fighting for and voted for Trump based on that. But here's the bottom line. If you think you're going to... Listen, I understand border control, I understand keeping people out, but if you think you're going to kick out 11 million people, it's not going to happen. Now, as far as the Dreamers go, these kids shouldn't be held accountable for what their parents did. They're here, and they don't even know what their home country is. They've probably never been to Mexico or any other foreign country. This is their country. But here's the thing, though. If they break the law, if they're part of a gang, if they're part of an undesirable group, if they commit a crime, a violent crime, or even a breaking or entering, then you should probably boot them out. And that should be made clear. I mean, maybe that's the compromise. But I keep hearing that Trump says, well, I'm working on a deal. This guy's supposed to be a great deal maker. That's really why he was elected, right? The Art of the Deal?
Right, that was his book.
Okay, it's time to go back and read the book again.
Barsky Radio on News Talk 850 WFTL. There's nothing fake about our news. Stay connected, South Florida, and log on to 850WFTL.com.
I lost 30 pounds with quick weight loss, and this week only, bring in friends and family and get 3 programs for the price of 1 full program, or come alone and get over 60% off any full program only at Quick Weight Loss. This week only. Want to fit back into your favorite skinny jeans like I did? Call Quick Weight Loss. Need more energy to get through the day like me? Call Quick Weight Loss. Like me, are you tired of calorie and point counting? Then call Quick Weight Loss. All Quick Weight Loss programs are custom fit to your individual budget, tastes, needs, and lifestyle, helping people like you and me lose weight and discover new eating habits over 25 years now. Like me, get rapid results, plus get unlimited support from Quick Weight Loss counselors 6 days a week. This week only, get 3 programs for the price of 1 full program, or come alone and get over 60% off any full program. I lost 30 pounds with Quick Weight Loss. 19 Florida locations, free consultation. Visit quickweightloss.net or call 855-777-THIN. That's 855-777-THIN. 855-777-8446.
So, what would you do with an extra $500 a month in your budget? $500. This isn't hypothetical, by the way. This is something you may need to think about very soon if you decide to become a member of MediShare. MediShare is a way to pay for your health care, and typically it costs $500 less per month for a family versus other healthcare plans. So seriously, think about this. You could pay off loans, pay down a mortgage, save the money for retirement, donate to charity. That would be a big deal. But you know what? Here's the best thing. Medishare works. It has 250,000 members, and it's growing fast. With Medishare, not only do you save, you don't have to pay for things you don't believe in either, and that is a beautiful thing too. So here's how you can find out more, and you might actually wind up saving even more than $500 a month. So check into it. Here's the number. Call 844-91-BIBLE. That's 844-91-BIBLE. Now available in Montana. Call 844-91-BIBLE.
Crash-proof consumers Joe and Eileen Mangini are enjoying their retirement with peace of mind thanks to the exclusive Crash-proof retirement system.
Crash-proof retirement gives you peace of mind, and I like knowing exactly what I'm doing. There's no mystery. Everything's out front. It's very truthful and honest. I do believe it's a very honest company.
Crash-proof has been recommended to a lot of friends of mine, and they're listening, and some of them have already joined. Crash-proof retirement provides you with peace of mind, and you don't worry about it any longer because there is no downside. It's only an upside.
The next Crash-proof retirement educational event with Phil Cannella and Joanne Small is happening at Benvenuto Restaurant in Boynton Beach on Tuesday, September 26th at 5 p.m. The event is followed by a complimentary dinner. Register by calling 800-722-9728 or visit crashproofretirement.com.
Oh, Greek moving and storage. I'll tell you, if you're one of these people who's had horrible moving experiences, and who hasn't, you need to acquaint yourself with the good Greek Spiro, because this is a company that takes your satisfaction very much to heart. And they want to make you satisfied, whether it's moving an antique or a grand piano, whether it's just moving boxes. They want to make sure that your experience is spectacular, because they'll even put cash back into your pockets when you refer a friend to Greek Moving for their next move. You can both receive up to $100. That's how convinced they are that you're going to have a great experience. And in order for that to happen, they have to have great people answering the phone, great people doing the moving, great people, if you need storage, that arrange for that as well. So you can do one of two things. You can either call them at 561-683-1313 or visit them on the web at greekmoving.com, or from your cell phone, call ** Greek for Greek Moving and Storage. Please let them know that Joy sent you.
News Talk 850 WFTL with your 3:30 update. I'm Ron Hersey. 89 degrees in Boynton Beach, 89 degrees in Coral Ridge. A major investigation underway after 8 Florida nursing home residents are found dead. The facility, the Hollywood Hills Rehabilitation Center, lost power after Hurricane Irma. Hollywood Mayor Josh Levy says this didn't have to happen.
I understand there was human failure on the part of the medical staff supervising these folks to not sound the alarm much more broadly, much more loudly, way earlier.
Hollywood Police Chief Tomas Sanchez says the nursing home had no power when officers arrived yesterday.
The AC unit in this place behind us under investigation was not working, and they were utilizing portable AC units.
An apartment complex in Riviera Beach is falling apart after Irma. The building is being condemned, forcing more than a dozen people at the Singer Island Yacht Club condos to find a new place to live by 5 o'clock. President Trump is headed back to Washington after assessing storm damage in Florida. The president, first lady, and vice president visited Fort Myers and Naples and talked with some victims and members of FEMA and the Coast Guard.
So I want to thank everybody. You guys have been, I don't want to see you next week at another place, okay? We've seen you enough.
Speaking in Fort Myers today, Trump praised the first responders for their work.
I know in the case of FEMA and the case of Coast Guard, the job you've done in saving people and saving lives. But I just want to thank everybody, the first responders.
The number of Floridians without power continues to drop. The latest update from the State Emergency Management Division says 2.7 million homes and businesses, about 26%, still don't have electricity. The most outages in South Florida counties Miami-Dade, 320,000 customers in the dark, and Broward, 217,000. FPL says it hopes to have the power fully restored on the East Coast by Sunday night. That's good news for Floridians trying to get home. Interstate 75 will remain open. The State Department of Transportation had said that flooding of the Santa Fe River in Alachua County could force them to close the highway between I-10 and State Road 441. But as of this morning, FDOT says its engineers and state meteorologists don't believe the river will reach a level to make I-75 unsafe. The Federal Trade Commission is investigating the Equifax data breach that compromised the personal information of more than 143 million Americans.
The FTC's acting director of public affairs, Peter Kaplan, confirmed the investigation to CNBC. The FTC does not typically comment on ongoing investigations, but in light of intense public interest and the potential impact of this matter, the agency made the probe public. The breach of the credit reporting company compromised many Americans' Social Security numbers and driver's license numbers. Joe Gomez, NBC News Radio, Washington.
An Army spokesman says multiple soldiers are injured after an explosion during a training exercise at Fort Bragg in North Carolina. The soldiers, part of the U.S. Army's Special Operations Command, were training on a range at the Army base. A Lieutenant Colonel, Rob Bachhold, says the soldiers were taken to an Army medical center for treatment, their conditions not released. Several Marines were critically injured after a training exercise in the San Diego area. More than a dozen Marines were on an amphibious assault vehicle when it crashed and then burst into flames Wednesday at Camp Pendleton. Officials say the crash left 6 Marines in critical condition and 9 others badly hurt. Most of the Marines had to be rushed to the San Diego Burn Center at UC. I'm Ron Hersey, News Talk 850 WFTL.
Time for a check on traffic in our traffic studio. Proudly sponsored by Mercedes-Benz of Palm Beach, Okeechobee Boulevard, West Palm Beach.
Good afternoon, Palm Beach. Nothing major to report. Something going on Melaleuca Lane east of Jog Road. That's Melaleuca Lane at Sherwood Forest Boulevard. We have an accident blocking one right lane, and we have plenty of traffic lights still not working starting on Atlantic Avenue, both east and westbound at Florida's Turnpike. Caution, please, it's at the northbound Turnpike entrance. Also in Delray Beach, fallen power cables, Federal Highway south of Linton Boulevard, and in North Palm Beach, fallen power cables, US 1 at PGA Boulevard. For all traffic lights that are not working, please, folks, come to a complete stop and treat as a four-way stop sign. This report is brought to you by LifeLock. Equifax recently announced a breach of 143 million identities, and you need to take steps to get protection. Be among the millions who trust their identity theft protection to LifeLock. Go to lifelock.com, use promo code RISK for 10% off. I'm Chris Barr, and that's your 850 WFTL traffic report.
I'm meteorologist Chris Farrell for CBS 12 News. On this Thursday afternoon, CBS 12 Storm Track Doppler radar tracking scattered showers, a few isolated lightning storms. Through the afternoon, cloudy skies, a 50% chance for more scattered showers and storms developing through the afternoon. Tonight's low 77. For Friday, sunny to partly cloudy, a 40% chance of an afternoon shower storm, the high near 90.
Well, this should come as no surprise to any listener of the Joyce Kaufman Show, but 33% of Americans can't name a single branch of government. Remember, these people have a vote that equals the weight of yours. More tomorrow on the Joyce Kaufman Show, noon to 3.
So now I'm seeing that Trump is saying we're very close to a deal with Democrats on DACA. Before he was saying there's no deal. Now they're close. They had a dinner. It was Trump, or dinner or lunch, but they had a meal. It was Trump, Schumer, and Pelosi, the Three Stooges.
They sat down to break bread.
They broke bread together. And what did Dennis Miller tweet? Dennis Miller, you know, when he takes his time and he thinks about what he's going to say and he writes it out, it's usually pretty good because he's actually very, very funny and very witty.
Well, right before this meal, he tweeted, "Wait till Trump gets a load of Schumer pre-chewing that demented asshat Pelosi's food and feeding it to her in an eyedropper like Robert Stroud would feed a rain-soaked wren."
Wow. That's very obscure. A lot of good references there.
A little Birdman of Alcatraz reference.
Right.
Rain-soaked wren. Oh, that's classic Dennis Miller.
Wait till Trump gets a load of Schumer, Ben. Chewing up the food for the Pelosi. Ben, you know. I met Chuck Schumer once outside of Shea Stadium, New York. Ever tell you a story? My brother and I go into a Met game, and this is years ago, and it was before Chuck Schumer became a senator. I think it was like a councilman or something like that. But he was standing outside of Shea Stadium handing out pamphlets. You know, like
vote for me.
Vote for me. He was doing that. He was campaigning. It was just him, and there's nobody around him. And my brother worked in the government. Worked in New York City for Giuliani, as he was the New York City budget director. He was actually had a very big position. So Schumer obviously knew what he was. So we were just walking into the stadium, and I just hear, "Hey, Adam," from across the way. And Adam walked over. I had no idea who the guy was. And he goes, "Hey, Chuck, how's it going?" They shook hands, and they just chatted for a couple seconds, and I walked away. I go, "Who's that?" He goes, "Some guy's running for office." I don't know. It's like he was like blew him up. He was like some, I don't know what he said. He was just some guy running for office, whatever. Because he was dealing with like the top of New York, and this guy was trying to get into the circle,
the inner sanctum.
The inner sanctum, exactly. No, he certainly is now. But that must have been it. I would love to be a fly on the wall on that meal. Listen, before we start this, okay, Chucker, you got to try the porterhouse. It's fantastic. But listen, order it medium rare if you like it. I like it very well done. You know I like my steaks very, very well done. I like them just dark. I mean, super dark, okay? The way I like my black people. But I'm just saying, you want to order your steak very, very medium rare. It's going to come back medium, okay? Pelosi, if I'm you, I'm going with the red snapper, okay? Go with the fish. You can't lose with the red snapper here. All right, let's get down to business. And then, they started talking. But, of course, he's going to start doling out some advice on what to order. By the way, the au gratin potato is fantastic. All right? Go with that. You can't lose with that. So we'll see if there's going to be a deal that's going to happen. I just know that there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be very unhappy. I don't know what people expected. I really don't. I think that what happened was when this guy ran and was campaigning, he was saying all the things that people are telling him to say, all of the insiders saying, you say this, this, and this. You just got to get elected. Listen, there's no way we're going to be able to build. This wall is ridiculous. We're not going to build. I mean, I don't think he even bought it. No, you got to build the wall to keep all the illegals out. Okay, but I'm telling you right now, it's going to cost a lot of money. And tell them that Mexico will pay for it. You got to be crazy. I'm not going to say that. No, tell them Mexico will pay for it. The people will buy it. They just love you. Whatever you say, they're going to buy. Just tell them that Mexico will pay for it, and that each person that votes for you gets $1 million. They're not going to listen. That's stupid. No, just tell them that. I mean, people listen. They love you. Have you seen the ratings for Celebrity Apprentice? They love you. They're going to do whatever. You could shoot somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue. Say that actually. Oh, that's actually very good. I can say that. Let me write that down. I could shoot somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue and still get elected. I love that. I like that. It's very good. I'm telling you, you can't go wrong. So, yeah, he made all these promises. First of all, you can't deport 11 million people. Good luck with trying to do that. How's that going to work out? When I first heard that, I actually, physically, I was like, I laughed. I said, seriously? He actually said, seriously? He wants people to believe that? And, there are people in this country like, that's right, we're going to kick them all out. Woo!
Hit them up, move them out.
Round them up. Round them up like a good old rodeo. And just kick them all the hell out. Let's just say theoretically you could do that. Let's say theoretically you can get rid of every illegal alien in this country. Just boot them out. Guess what happens after that? Your grass will never be cut. You could forget about any sort of landscaping. You could forget about anybody working on your roof at 95-degree temperatures. Because I'll tell you something right now, college kids aren't going to do it. You're going to do it. If you have a home, if you own it, you're going to cut your own lawn. You're going to trim your own bushes and shrubs, and you're going to work on your roof when your roof collapses. That's what you're going to do, because college kids aren't going to do that. I don't see college kids lining up to do those jobs. And at the risk of sounding like, the old guy, but seriously, when I was, in high school and college, I don't ever remember seeing any sort of illegal alien or anybody from any Latino person working on a landscaping crew. You know what it was? A bunch of high school kids and college kids. Yeah. That was us. That's what we did. Now, go take a look at a landscaping crew now. I'm not just talking about here in Florida. Go up to Long Island. Go to New York. In the north, that's where I grew up. And go look at the landscaping crews there, okay? Are you seeing college kids or high school kids in the summertime doing that as their summer job? Nope. Here's what they're doing. They're playing video games. They're online. They're playing video poker. They're doing, they're not venturing outside. They're working on their resumes.
It's hot out there.
It's too hot to work. Right. And like I said, at the risk of sounding like the old guy, but I'm telling you right now, that's what's happening. So if you want that stuff to continue, be quite honest with you, I don't notice whether I would notice more if more people were out of here. Like I said, there would be more things happening around us that wouldn't get done, that people are doing these jobs. They're not, if they're doing the crappy jobs that none of us want to do, I don't care. I mean, you have to pay taxes, right? You're getting a paycheck, unless you're getting money under the table. But whether you're legal or not, I mean, that's just my personal opinion. Obviously, if you commit a crime, if you're, like our president says, rapists, murderers, the like. Yeah, you kick them out. And I say the same thing about these. You can't kick out the dreamers. You can't do that. These kids were born in this country. They don't know from Guatemala. They don't know from Mexico or Haiti or South America. They don't know it from that. They were born here. Their parents came here, all right? Well, they came here illegally. But what do you do? Boot them out? They're good. Most of them are good kids. They study hard. They can contribute to society, contribute to our economy. Now, obviously, the parents who, there are some kids who clearly can come from a broken home. If they end up in a gang or they end up, causing problems or committing crimes, yeah, go boot them out. I don't care. Get rid of them. Deport them. I don't want any of those people in the country. I'd like to deport Americans. There are a bunch of Americans I'd like to kick out. But I can't because they were born here. So I'm just saying that here's what I learned about people. That if the punishment is severe enough, they'll think twice about doing something. You know what I'm saying?
Don't do the crime if you can't do the time.
Yeah, but it's got to be. It's beyond time. I see. I'm going into a different place here. I'm going to a place where a lot of countries go that we certainly will never go in this country. But I'm telling you that there are a lot of kids who belong to gangs, who are illegals, who are born, in this country, but their parents were illegals or whatever it is. They're bad kids or they're bad young adults. They're in gangs or whatever. They're causing crime. They're causing problems. Death or prison is not a deterrent. That doesn't, because in their minds they're thinking, I'm going to live till I'm 21 anyway. What do I care? They're not, they're not afraid of dying. So what are they afraid of? What would you be afraid of if someone had to punish you? What would you be afraid of? Is there anything that would come to mind that if you were in that mindset, what would you be afraid of? What do you think a person would fear the most?
I don't know. It's stupid.
No, say it.
I'm definitely afraid of needles. So anybody that's got a needle-like object around me, I'm like, okay, whatever you want.
But bottom line is, you fear what you would be afraid of something you are fearful of, and most people don't like torture. That's what they do in other countries. That's why you see that the crime rate in many countries is pretty low, because if you steal in a country, you lose your hand. If I was going to steal something in this country and I knew that my hand's going to be gone if I get caught, I'd think twice about taking it. That's just on the low end of the totem pole. You work your way up. You do something. Look at what these gangs do. The Russian mob, the Japanese mob. I'm not talking about the Italian mob. They're actually civilized. I'm talking about these other mobs. What they do is, if you steal from them, or you do something that they deem to be a slap in the face, if you will, they won't kill you. They'll just kill you slowly. You will die over a long period of time. They will torture you. And we don't have that in this country, but there's that. A lot of that stuff goes on in these uncivilized countries. That's the only thing that people would be afraid of, is that. Pain. People are afraid of pain, torture. That's why when we were talking about, the terrorists and what you do with the terrorists, how do you get that, the information out of them, the controversy of waterboarding and torture. That's the only way they're going to give it up. They're not going to give it up. You can send them to prison. But, if you hold them under water for a while, eventually you're going to give that up. So that's my point. My point is that no matter what kind of undesirables you have in this country, be it illegals or legal citizens or whatever, young people, especially gang members, because those are the ones who are committing most of these crimes, they don't fear anything. There's no fear. Because Because most of them don't think they're going to make it, like I said, past 21. They don't fear anything. So that's an issue. If you want to control crime, you want to control that. But let's put it this way. If everybody was in this country illegally and nobody was committing any crimes, why would you have a problem with it? Think about that.
Barsky Radio on News Talk 850 WFTL. They say talk is cheap, and we give it to you for free. Not bad, huh? News Talk 850 WFTL. Stay connected.
Now that the storm has passed, help Palm Beach County recover. Make 3 piles with your debris. 1 for garbage, 1 for vegetation, and 1 for storm debris. Keep the piles separated and away from mailboxes and power lines. Learn more at swa.org/hurricane.
I want to talk to you about your retirement savings. Go to Anthony Perry and find out more about fixed annuities. First of all, you can hear Anthony Perry on his own program on Saturdays at 11 and on Sundays at 10 o'clock. He has been a CPA here in South Florida for over a quarter of a century. He's helped lots of people, particularly through these products, including a 6% per year fixed annuity, which comes with a 4% signing bonus, which means that in your first year, you're actually looking at 10% on your money, and it's backed by one of the largest insurance companies in the world. Now, they're better than a CD because they're more liquid. You can have access to your money when you need it. So call the Perry Financial Group and find out more about fixed annuity products. Over the last 25 years, Anthony's been a leader in our community, helped the city of Coral Springs earn 3 AAA credit ratings, and has served as an advisor to the Broward County School Board Adult Education Committee. Call him 888-755-8887. That's 888-755-8887. On the web, it's perryfinancial.com. Perry with an I. Please let him know that Joyce sent you.
Good news for folks who love fried chicken. KFC's original recipe fried chicken has been and always will be delicious. Get it for lunch in a $5 fill-up. KFC, it's still finger-licking good.
All you fans of Street Corner Harmonies, make sure your radio is tuned to News Talk 850 WFTL every Sunday night from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. for Ken Held's Doo-Wop Shop, radio's longest-running oldies specialty show. Hosted by Ken Held, Boca Raton Magazine's Doo-Wop Radio King, and Jennifer Joy Suna, Doo-Wop's dearest darling. The Doo-Wop Shop every Sunday night from 6 to 8 p.m. on News Talk 850 WFTL and High Definition FM at 97.9 HD2.
Joyce Kaufman here, and I have an opportunity to talk with my prosthodontist, Dr. Ellie Friedman. How do you like my teeth?
I love them. Your smile looks absolutely stunning.
Hey.
I'm very proud of it.
When I think of all the times that I went with broken teeth and the pain, the suffering, the not being able to chew, and that all changed when I sat down and you showed me that we could make this happen. You didn't send me to a dentist. He sends me to an oral surgeon. Everything is at the Friedman Dental Group.
That was actually how I had set things up years ago, and my vision was to actually have one group practice that was able to service a patient from the beginning to the end, including our own in-house laboratory, which we do our own porcelain, and have all of our dental specialists, a team of very, very fine and talented people, including a prosthodontist, our oral and maxillofacial and plastic surgeon, anesthesiologist who works on my team. We have an endodontist, a periodontist, and we can get it all done in a one group setting.
954-752-5560. That's 954-752-5560. And on the web, it's friedmandentalgroup.com. Thank you.
Ron Hersey has news coming up at the top of the hour on News Talk 850 WFTL.
So I want to mention a couple things about some fast food places. Well, Chipotle's been having some issues. You know about that, right?
No, yeah.
Their problem that they've got, there's a lack of trust amongst their customers because, you know, as George Bush once said, there's an old saying in Texas, might be in Tennessee, fool me once, shame on you, fool me. You can't go fooled again, or something like that. So, I mean, that's what Chipotle customers are saying. In other words, you know, you got me food, you know, you got food poisoning once, shame on you. Twice, shame on me. And it's happened more than twice on a pretty large scale. So, according to their customers, they're not happy with what Chipotle has done to rectify the situation. And 69% of the general population thought of Chipotle as just barely average in terms of food quality and trustworthiness. That's not good. The figure plunged to 53% after the E. coli outbreak. Now, listen, if you got to get your Mexican food on, You know, if you're jonesing for Lamexingin, I mean, it's pretty good. But if I'm thinking that there's a possibility that I'm going to, be in the bathroom for the next 2 weeks, I'll do anything I can to avoid food poisoning. And personally, I used to go to Chipotle a lot. And since the E. coli, if it happened once, I was okay. When I heard about the second time on a larger scale, I was like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to, I'll do something else. So they got to figure, I don't know who their public relations people are or who they've got running that, but they got to figure out another way to do it. It might have to be closing it down and opening up under a different name. Maybe the way Al Sharpton calls it, just call it Chipotle instead of Chipotle. Chipotle. All right, so talk about trust. There's another story about McDonald's. By the way, the best French fries as far as fast food French fries, McDonald's. Agreed? You disagree?
I mean, they're definitely up there. They're some of the top, but I'm kind of partial to the kind of Cajun fries that Popeyes has. No. I like the ones that Checkers has.
No. It's McDonald's, and if you look at any of the real, the polls that have come out over the years, they'll say McDonald's comes out number one, and there's like 20 or 30 fast food places. It's always top.
They would be my third favorite.
Well, here's the thing with the fries. And if you order your fries from McDonald's, you may be getting gypped. According to one of their former employees, they teach you when you put the fries in to pinch the box or the bag to where the fries only go in so far, and then they look like they're full, so the bottom is pinched, and then when you put your hand in there, you realize it's like 3/4 worth of fries. So they save, another quarter's worth of fries that they could have put in there. So here's a quote. I worked at McDonald's, and they taught me how to pinch the fry carton just right by putting the fries into them so it looked full, but it actually wasn't. This is on Reddit. I had one customer call me out on it. He shook the fries out of his bag, poured them back into the fry carton himself, and it only filled up halfway. And I got called out on it, so I had to give him more fries. I was impressed and embarrassed at the same time. Yeah, it is kind of impressive to, there's always that one guy, though. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't be me, but there'd be like that one guy. You know which guy I'm talking about. He's got his pants up right under his boobs. He's got his belt right up there. Excuse me, these fries are not completely full, okay? It sounds like Trump, actually. I've come in for these fries a lot. I love them, all right? These fries are fantastic, but they're not completely full, all right? I know a scam when I see one. Got the big white belt on. He'd probably just finished playing golf, And
you really think that kind of person actually gets out and does anything?
What's that?
Nothing. It was about the golf comment.
Oh, yeah.
Actually go out and do something?
Yeah. But here's the thing, though. They're still doing it. So if you go to McDonald's and you just try it, go there, get the fries, get the big, whatever it is, the big box, and then just do it in front of them and see, just for the hell of it, and see if they'll, you can call them on it and they'll refill it or whatever.
Pinch the fry bag just sounds like some sort of code phrase.
Yeah. Hey, baby, did you pinch the fry bag? Oh, yes, I did. And it was fantastic.
Barsky Radio on News Talk 850 WFTL.
The Crash Proof Retirement System is specially customized for every individual client. Crash Proof consumer Susan Turner is a retired secretary.
The Crash Proof Retirement System that was designed for me meets all of my needs. I have enough money left out for liquidity in case I want to take a trip or do anything. It just fit all of my needs. And the main thing to me is that I have one daughter, and when the time comes that I'm not here anymore, she'll have the money that I worked hard to accumulate, which I'm free to take some out at the time, but it will still grow, and it's just a win-win for my whole family. I want to thank Phil Cannella and Joanne Small. They truly are looking out for the consumer.
The next Crash Proof Retirement educational event with Phil Cannella and Joanne Small is happening at Benvenuto Restaurant in Boynton Beach, Tuesday, September 26th at 5 p.m. Call 800-722-9728 or visit crashproofretirement.com.
WRMF HD2.
I think Hurricane Irma opened all our eyes to the wrath of Mother Nature. She is a force to be reckoned with. And you thought, hey, I don't need shutters. I don't need anything on my windows or doors. I didn't have time to put up the shutters. That's where Alpha Impact Windows and Doors can be your best friend. We're at the height of hurricane season. Now would be the perfect time to get you, your house, and your family safe for any other tropical system that may come our way. And Alpha is a recognized platinum dealer of PGT. That's the nation's leading manufacturer and supplier of residential impact-resistant windows and doors. You can't break them, a bullet can't penetrate them, plus you're going to save on your electric bill, and you may get a break on your homeowner's insurance. Call my dear friend Adam Kornfeld at Alpha Impact Windows at 1-866-64-ALPHA. That's 866-64-ALPHA, or visit alphaimpactwindows.com. You can call them. They'll answer any questions for you. They've been in the community for more than 20 years. They're here to help you. alphaimpactwindows.com.
News Talk 850 WFTL West Palm Beach with your 4 o'clock update. I'm Ron Hersey. 89 degrees in Mangonia Park, 89 degrees in Margate. A state of Florida has shut down a Hollywood nursing home while a criminal investigation proceeds after 8 people died due to sweltering heat post-Irma.